Right. So you're doing that. I am trying out some new things. Changed a little bit of the graphic settings of my stuff, and that's mainly because there's just a lot of things that I don't really like about how things are set up. So today it is today we will be largely trying to fix largely trying to is fairly readable, I feel like I did change a lot of the whatchamacallit, the graphic stuff, my resolution and stuff. I've increased the scale of shit so that it is easier for me to use my computer, because a lot of modern systems expect you to have obnoxiously high resolution shit, and that doesn't work out too good when you're trying to use your things. So and basically effectively like internally stuff. So let's first see what we are at here, and then we can try and figure out what kind of other systems we might want to take a look at. All right. So this is a little bit wonky. It's a little bit off. I think due to the upscaling, there's a lot of other weirdness going on here. I don't think it's actually centering it properly, which is good to know. It's also very small. Very, very, very small. I would like to have full screen capabilities would be perfect. That would be very nice. I think full screen would be better. Right. Still get some pretty bad screen tearing. I haven't. I don't think I've rebooted in a while. I feel like I probably should have done that. I guess that's my bad. But we're at 75 degrees, yeah. But I have, that, so we can turn off the static for testing on stream, for stream testing on stream. That's going to be removed in the final. Yeah, it's going to be like an environment. It's going to be an argument. Right. Running the game with an argument is going to be how that's done. I don't know how I'm going to do that for Windows, because I don't know how you actually execute applications through the terminal in Windows, because it's not something that I've ever really had to do. So you'd have to like open up PowerShell and then run the game with the command line argument. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that I don't necessarily want to do. Like, it's fine. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that being a thing. It's still very blue to me. Right? And this is very, very white. Very clean and white. This is very blue, purple. Now, the color mapping, the color gradient is very different. I need to, like, warm it up a little. Alright. So that's something to keep in mind. What else? Right. This is fine, I guess. What else is there? So these are all things that I am going to be keeping in mind. Yeah. So yeah, this is the beginning. In the beginning. In the beginning. So I have that. I need what is. How do you allow for? I mean, I could make that a little bit bigger. Because I don't know how, like, actually readable that is. Oh, that's at 1.5%? Hold up. There we go. I mean, that is very crisp and clean. So, I mean, that's readable. I'd say that's readable. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep that. I don't really know how else to do the things I want to do. I don't know where else I want to put them. It might be nice to have fucking something. Because I could do vertical or horizontal. Like I could do the sound mixer. Oh right, I can't do it like that. Fuck. God damn it. Son of a bitch. Alright, I guess it's fine. You can't do... I would have to... Yeah, no, there's just some stupid shit. The mapping on OBS, the Arch version has a better window tile. It has a better tiler. I would really like tiling windows, force tiling windows, but I don't know. I somehow fucked up a lot of my configs. Hello! Yeah, I am up. I do the streams at 7 in the morning and 7 at night. So every 12 hours. Because I have no job. So I have no job and no life. Yeah. I'm just trying to think of what else I want to do. Right, like I want to do nice. Yes. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by for a little bit. Yeah, thank you for stopping. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, so I'm going to try and figure out. Yeah. Let's see, Love 2D. Allow maximize. There we go. Maximized and programming will trigger it using the following methods. Enable maximize button. On functionlove.com .lua. Resizable true. I could do that. I mean, I could just make it all maximize. Yeah, I mean, I could do... Love that window dot maximized. Right at the very top. Let's do that. Really interesting. Love the window. Maximize. Nande. Is already is function art. Oh, okay. Set window. Window dot set mode. Love dot window set mode. Resizable true, yeah. Yeah. I could do love.conf. But I also don't give a shit. Alright. Yeah, 800, 600. Resize true. Resize. Is it resize? Resize double. I know that set mode. Fucking camel casing. Ball. Okay. So it is maximized, and then what I need to do is set all of these need to go all the way up at the top. Alright. This needs to go up here. You know, I need to maximize and then set everything. This is really, really slow. It is fucking struggling. This frame rate is fucking dog water. This is really bad frame rate. This is the problem with raycast rendering. It very much struggles at high resolution. So, I think most modern graphic systems will be able to handle this just fine now. I'm not entirely sure what it is that's eating up the performance. I don't know if it's something that I can optimize, right? So that's just something that I might have to just fuck Because I mean, like, the compiler is really good about setting it up, like, right, like, if I do, if I go into the screen.gls, right, one of the things that I can do is I can say return plant UVT point 1 point. Alright. This will clean everything up. To a function return type. What? Return vec4. And yeah, 1.0. There we go. That should be good. No! Does not exist. Right. Motherfucker! That's... Okay. So this is still... Okay, so it is the... this is still not the greatest frame rate. So I think a lot of it is the textures. The textures are very... They do be struggling. So there is something going on there. I am able to... Here I'm able to... I mean, there is really bad fucking screen tearing. I feel like I should probably... But... that does allow for that to be a thing. I might want to just make it so that you can like hit tab or grave to release the mouse. Alright. Or, I mean, I might do... Because, like, I might want to have something, like W or something. I think for some... Yeah, slightly laggy gameplay. I mean, it's... And hello, you are a first-time chatter, if I'm not mistaken. Welcome into the stream. Yeah, it is slightly laggy, but my computer's fucking old as shit. It was made in the late Cambrian era. So, it's super, super fucking old. Which also means that it runs like dog shit on my computer. But, if it can run on here, then it'll run on literally anyone's. So, yeah, we have the update. I want to have this and the update. Yeah, I want to do that. Oh shit. What the fuck? Monday. Sure. I mean, it's using ray casting, right? So the performance scales directly with resolution. I'm also my computer is very old. Um, so it struggles with rendering in general because it's using a lot of outdated rendering calls and graphics calls in general. So like I'm not using modern OpenGL. I'm not using hardware acceleration for a lot of stuff. Like the hardware acceleration is incredibly limited. Um, because you know this computer was built in 2010. So there is a lot of limitations that I'm dealing with. Like if I had my desktop, it'd be fine. You know, if I had my other laptop functional, it would be fine. It wouldn't be, you know, there would be zero impact. It would be perfectly okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it's not doing very good. Um, you know, ooh, I haven't hit much swap. It's only 8% swap, which is pretty good. Yeah, 2.69 gigs out of 3.62. Yeah, no, it struggles. Um, yeah. So like there's only so much that I'm gonna be able to do. I think cab. And here I think it would be love. Um, I have the love window match. Okay, so I can do if yeah I can do if yeah. My base memory is 4 gigs, so yeah, 8% swap is actually on. That's a good day. So that is a good day. Um, yeah, I mean the I hit swap even on Arch, right? Um, like I'm using Ubuntu with XFCE Xface, so I'm about as lean as I can possibly get, while also being able to do like development, and stream. Right, like the moment that I need to stream, I'm gonna be running into issues. Like even when I was doing Arch with fucking what was it? Arch with um i3. Yeah, I mean I was using Arch with i3, and even that was hitting swap. So like that's why I stream at uh at 10 frames per second on at 480p. So um yeah, so the game itself is um it's really just all right, I need to remove it's mostly because I want to stream everything. I'm gonna be running into issues regardless, so like it doesn't matter. And I mean that, and also Linux can use swap very easily, and Ubuntu in particular can operate on swap fairly efficiently, so it doesn't matter to me. um yeah. I mean I'll have to take a look at Void, possibly see what I can do with that, because I can do Void with Xface, and possibly, I don't know. I'm also kind of tired of I'm kind of tired of distro hopping, to be honest. Um, so Let's see here. If love dot window. Oh yeah. So it's just a uh it's just a spooky game. Yeah. I mean, this is just an Intel. I mean, it's just an Intel. Yeah, it's just an Intel. Just use alphabet. Yeah. Um, it's just an onboard Intel graphics. You know, an i5 M450. So, wee, wee. It's great. I love it here. Yeah. And oh, actually, else and else do load that window. Maximize dot maximize do. But yeah, what kind of stuff do you do? Do you do uh what kind of stuff do you do? Do you do game dev? Do you do other dev stuff? So I can do a maximize and destroy my shit. Except that if I do the maximize, I also need to update the yeah. I need to update. I need to copy the safe area and send the screen size. Is that local? They make the okay, no, that's global. Okay. So I have access to it. Not exactly something that I care about, but since both of these are doing the same thing, I can do a paste here. And then I can also do a send. Shader.send. Yeah, screen send. I'm not super happy with having all that be declared, because all this is like being hoisted. So I don't know if I love that or not. Alright. There we go. I can do this. Okay, cool. So this is actually performant. Destroy my performance. I mean, this isn't the worst. This is definitely a lot more performant. I'll have to just see what the performance looks like on other machines. Alright. I think after, because this just allows people to have like full screen and turn off the static. A big part of it is like, I don't know if it's because this is likely software rendering. I mean, it's not looking like it is software rendering because the yeah, because my CPU isn't spiking very hard. So this is being run on the GPU. I just don't know what kind of, either that or it's being capped or something. I don't know. There's something going on there, right? And I don't know what it is. I do want to have the, because I want the, I want to set the sensitivity and stuff. Like I want to set, I want to have something that allows for like interaction and stuff, right? Because I want to have, like I don't, why is, I don't know. I don't know why like E is usually used for interacting with things. Because like Q just seems a little bit better. Right. I think one of the things that I want to do is after all of this, after all of this, I want to have a sequence basically, right? So I could do a local instructions is equal to I want this to be what? I want this to be, say, keybinds, right? So ESDF is a movement. Backspace is toggle static. Tab. Toggle maximize. I think those are all the keybinds now. Oh, delete. Didn't I have a delete? I don't think I did delete. What is the... Go back up to the input. Because I need to know if the full screen is... If that is a... Yeah. Okay, tab, delete, escape. That is correct. Escape is correct. Then we'll load graphics print. Oh shit. Print. Instructions. Should be fine. Okay, yeah. So it is keybinds. It does show the keybinds. I would like to... I feel like I should have a backdrop on that. I feel like I should have that be in like a rectangle or something. I do not super love that it kept the tabs, but I mean, it's fine. That's fine. Alright, like it's fine, I guess. It would be nice if I had something else, but yeah, so I can have that do that. Let's see. Can I easily find out the bounds of a text object? Right? Because if I can find the bounds of a text object, I can, well, like, can I, like, create a text object? Like, can I, like, find the bounds of printed text in Love? Printed text in 2D. Heck, is that something that I can do? Because, like, it'd be nice if I could find, like, the height and width, right? Width and height of text in Love using the font or text objects. Okay. Okay. Right, okay. Using a text object recommended for performance. Interesting. Okay, so I can do a text object. I think I'm going to do that instead. For a number of reasons. For one, it's more idiomatic. For two, you know, is equal to love.graphics new text. Love dots. Because I could do, yeah, love dot graphics dots get fonts, because I need to pass in the font anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Here I can do keybinds. So E S D F movements. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Escape is end is quits. Backspace. Toggle static. And what was it? Tab. Tab is toggle minimized. I want Q to be... No, actually, I want W to be... W... Release... Toggle mouse release. Toggle... Mouse... Toggle mouse release. Because I want to be able to do stuff with that. Right? I mean, I will do release mouse. Toggle release mouse. That's just going to be something that would be just nice to have. And the reason for that is um yeah. So what is it then? That so that it's actually wow. Oh, Nande. Oh fucking hell, dude. Why can't me going down? Do this shit again, because every time it does shit, it fucks up. There we go. Those are the things that I wanted to be seeing. What's my temps at? Okay, not too bad. I don't think I put any cinnamon in this one. Local, WH is equal to oh, I don't need to do okay. Okay, I can do delete and then paste. So here I can say this. Okay. So like if I wanted to, because the bounds should be just static, right? Like these bounds should be static. I would expect them to be static. I can also do a full ass different, like a whole ass different, how do I want to structure this? Do I care to package these in an object? Real table? Or do I not actually care? W equals 0. which equals 0. Text bounds dot w text bounds dot h is equal to instructions dot instructions get dimensions. Alright. And then I could do a rectangle. I don't. Yeah. So yeah, I could do that. And then here. Can I do? Because I can just do the print text object, right? Yeah, I can do the get font. Font get width, font get height, right? And then I just draw it like normal, right? And to draw a text object. Because I think it's just like draw, and then I do. I think I could do love dot set love dot graphics dot set color is RGBA. Red and number. Okay, instead of 0 to 1, okay. So it is 0 to 1 now. Love.graphics.draw. Okay. Rather than print. It is draw rather than print, okay. Ow! Fuck, my knees! Ah! Everyone fucking unshrimp yourself. Oh! Ow! Woo! Okay. Set color 0, 0, 0, 0.25. Print instructions, draw. And then afterwards, I mean, probably fucking fine anyway, because I don't actually use. Oh. It is not actually working properly. Because all this is immediate mode, right? Love dots. Graph. Rectangle. Fill. Text bounds dot w 5 text bounds dot h. And then I can do love dot graphics dot set color to 111. 75. So that should be, there we go. Maybe 50% might be a little bit better. Alright. So, yeah, we have that. I don't understand why it's not doing +5 now. Text bounds +5 right? 15 maybe. Okay, I mean that's like better. It's +10 or some shit. I don't fucking know. Oh no. I do not know. Oh! Oh, that's why it's not working properly. I'm a fucking dumb fuck. Let's be 10. I forgot to double the offset. Alright, because that will actually be so toggle static, backspace, bring it out, bring it back in. Toggle, full, maximized. Which runs like dog shit. I need to look into that. So, yeah, unfortunately, the size of the quad is going to determine the performance. So if it runs, I'm probably going to end up doing a bit more work into figuring out how to make it run better. Because I'm sure there's a way of doing it. I'm just not smart enough to figure it out yet. And then I guess the next thing would be to handle things like, releasing the mouse to interact. That's something that I'd like to do. I am going to figure out the onboarding, right? Well, I think so. Let's actually all right. So yeah, we got that. We want to take another look at the onboarding. Alright. Like we need to do on that's something that needs to that's just something that needs to happen. Onboarding needs to be a thing. I'm not super pleased that this doesn't have the proper rendering, the markdown rendering. I'll have to look into that and fix it. Hmm. So the onboarding. How do I want to handle the onboarding? Alright. Because that is kind of a big question. How does one want to onboard? Also, I do need to do a little bit of a bio break and to get some coffee. So, you chill and enjoy the tunes while I'm gone. I feel like I should probably mute myself. Alright. So I need to figure out a better way to do on. Right. Because onboarding is... I don't know how I want to handle it. For one, the keybinds are going to be a little bit different. I just like ESDF better. I mean, I may or may not actually keep that. Having, you know, like having these things be, I mean, for now, it's fine. Having them up in the upper left like that, little doobly-doo with the doobly jam, like that's fine. All right. I'm more than okay with that being onboarding for now, right? It means that I don't need to, it means that I don't need to worry about having a fat stack of like a tutorial. I don't need to worry about, you know, proper onboarding yet. And I'm still, you know, trying to figure out exactly what I want this game to be like. So that's more than okay. Alright. So I'm not too terribly worried about that. I also have that for the streamers and other people that may not do too terribly well. That is going to be a feature that I will be removing. I want a procedurally generated map, and that is going to be something that I really want to figure out how to do. So I think in today's stream, like I'm going to be focusing on, because like these are like goals of mine to have, you know, a lot of this stuff, right? Because I like having, like, this is a very complicated, like, this is a fairly complicated system. So let's take a look at the DDA. I will, because I don't know if, because like the DDA algorithm is super cheap, right? That's not where the issue is. I know that's not where the issue is because all the other stuff works fine, right? The wall texture is pretty big. Yeah, the DDA algorithm is, it's fucking fine, right? Like, this shit here is fine. So I just need to figure out how to put myself in. Like, I just need to figure out. I just need to figure out how to. Um. Hmm. So. So let's. In Love 2D, building a. Because I need to figure out what kind of, let's see, Love 2D. Um, Creating image, create image. Can I do that? Love 2D create image. New image function inside of load. This loads file from the project. Okay, so what if I want to use load.draw? To a canvas. This is useful for combining multiple sprites into one or create arc. New image data into a drawable image. Limited to create a procedural image. Like as a because like I want to create it as you know, image data. I create it of a certain size, you know, yada yada yada, etc etc etc. Scratch typically use image data. This is a raw pixel buffer that lives on your CPU. You can upload to the GPU as a drawable image. Okay. Width height 100 to 100. And then I just create a new image data, and then I can do set pixels x and y start at 0. Width -1. Okay, width and height. X and y start at 0. Good. New image data. Gotcha. And then I set the image and I send it. So I can set random values. Map pixel. Yeah, image refresh. So let's talk about the actual procedural, the procedural stuff. Because, like, this is a good spot for me kind of to hold off for a little bit, I feel like. Because I have all the... Like, I feel like I have all of the, I feel like I have all of the features that I really want for testing. Right? Like, the actual test features are fine. Right? Like, the actual test features are doing pretty damn good, right? So what that means for me is like the test features are good. I can toggle full screen. I can toggle static. I will want to release the toggle release of the mouse at some point. That's something that I'd want to do. Right, so that you can move it around and stuff. I think that is something that I should do next, actually. Actually. Toggle maximized, W is release mouse. Toggle cursor. Toggle cursor. So then I need to go to input. Alright. Alright. So I have tab, backspace. Right. So here I could do W equals function and then in here I do toggle the cursor, right? I think I need to take a look at the documentation. How do I toggle? Love to be. I need to go in and purge a bunch of shit. That's not what I fucking wanted, you dumb fuck. Okay. Yeah, relative mode. Yeah, I want to... Okay, so it's just, love mouse set relative mode. True. Well, how do, Can I see if in get relative mode set. Okay, so W is love dots mouse dot set relative mode. Love dot mouse get relative mode. Okay. Get love mouse not. Alright. This should work. Yeah, because then I can maximize. Whoa. Interesting, right? Yeah. So I actually want to set the cursor to like half the window, right? Yeah, because if I just set it to the middle, and then I think I could set the so I just set the love dot mouse dot set position equal to window dot width divided by 2 window dot height by 2. Hold on, that's not correct. Correct, right? Yeah. Oh. Interesting. What if I want to... Weird. Because of the delta. Right. Say I want to set the position without updating the delta. Reset the mouse delta rotation. Do 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 do. Will typically trigger a love mouse move event on the next frame. Following strategies. Gotcha. Okay. So I could do ignore delta. I could do a mouse that ignore delta. Right. Is equal to that. All right. So I could do a mouse dot ignore ignore delta is equal to false. All right. And then mouse dot ignore delta equals true, and then yeah. Yeah, okay. So the way I do this is on the mouse move, I handle some things. So here I can do ignore delta. Right. Mouse dot ignore delta equals true. That's the inputs. I can do the handle the input. Where is that? Do 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 do. If math dot absolute value is greater than 0 and not mouse dot ignore delta, then oh well, I mean, so if mouse dot ignore delta, then mouse dot ignore delta equals false, return, and otherwise continue with your shit, right? So here, right? So it just sets it to new stuff, right? And does that. So that way it will. Okay. So I don't understand why it's doing that. Right. Okay. That works a lot better. I mean, this is actually pretty nice. I like this, right? So I'm gonna do this, right? Right. Because like most people are going to like most people they're going to like having some movement still with the mouse on screen is nice because it allows you to like see more of things, and it allows for like a little bit finer movement on certain things, allowing you to like click on stuff and what have you. So that's something that I want to keep. That's definitely something I want to keep. All right. Woo! Oh, coffee, 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 coffee. I feel like the cold brew is way more fucking potent. That is intense. Yeah. Cool. So we have the way to release the we have a release of the mouse movement and all that. Which is good. Yeah. I'm gonna be. I feel like I need to be right there. Wait. Yeah, cold brew is really fucking intense. That's nice though. It's very nice. Lots of caffeine. Way more fucking caffeine in cold brew. You have more full extraction with cold brew. Mmm. Not shaky, so there's that at least. My back. Whee! Okay. Cool. So what is the next thing that we need to do? I really need to pee. So I will be back. I feel like I need to. I feel like I need to. Do a little bit of a bio break. Among other things. So, I will be right back. Ow. Fuck. Ah. Getting old, people. Oh. Snap, crackle, pop, motherfuckers. Ah. Okay. All right. Oh, fucking cold. Ow, my chest. Oh, chest. Chesties. Chesticles. Okay. What is the next part? Okay, so let's go into draw E. Oh shit, yeah, that's right. A few things. Go on. Work. I really do wanna. I would love to get my hands on some fucking Everclear. I really want some Everclear. Yeah. Not for the reasons that you might think. It's entirely because of the fact that I would be able to do whatchamafacet stuff. Ugh. I know, so descriptive. Much while so descriptive. So let's do a little bit of a tryout, right? Shall we? Alright, so one of the things that we want to do here is we want to see how, like, how do we make, how do we actually make a procedurally generated level, right? There are a few different ways of doing it. And one way isn't necessarily a better way than the other. Right? You pretty much just have to think about you just kind of have to think about things in a very particular way, I guess. Something like that. But one of the major things that I want to do, right, is that I only want, right, like I only want, we have the end, we have start and the end. Oh, let's do, I don't know, start and end, right? We have the start, we have the end, right? And then in between we have some collection of other rooms, right? And what we want to see, right? And what we want to see is we want to see that we want these to be we want these to be linked, and we want all of these interesting. All right. What we want to do is we want to link all these rooms up in a big thing. You link that together, and then we pick, some subset of some subset, and we cross-link a couple of these, right? That creates cycles. And then we basically say that any node with we could say that any node with two any node with like three. Well, the main thing is that we could say that any node with three or more what is it? Any node with three or more edges is a corridor, and any node with two edges is a room. And the rooms are just boundaries, right? So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rooms and a couple corridors, right? Like that is something that you could do. You could also say, hey, we want this to be the start, this to be the end, and then place you know, you could place a room here. You know, this can be a corridor or some shit, you know, and then like this is also a corridor, and then like this is a room, and like this is another corridor or some shit. Right, you can do a bunch of things like this, right? And you just interlink, you know, just say, hey, there's a thing here. There's, you know, an entrance here, entrance here, entrance here, and then like an entrance here, something like that. All right. I would like to remove dead ends. I don't like dead ends and stuff. That's why I'm doing loops, right? So like I can have a loop there. So this is a loop. This is a loop. Having like one unit there is fine. And the only dead ends, the only two dead ends are going to be start and the end. Because that way it makes it so that there's always a way forward. And you can just keep on going until you can't. That makes things very nice, right? And then, well, one of the things that you could do on top of that is you could say, kind of limit the number of nodes. So you can make it so that there is no, because you can say like there is a cycle here, right? And you can also split the cycle in a way that's, you know, very robust, because you can say, you know, split the cycle and all that stuff. But it's also kind of difficult to convert, you know, it can be very difficult to convert this into that, right? This is very difficult to do. Right? This is something that's very, you know, this is very difficult to do. So, because the reverse is very easy. That is easy. Right? The reverse is fucking easy. Right? This is easy. This is hard. You know, this is difficult. And the reason for that is just it's very easy to take a look at something and analyze it and then bring it back out into here. It's very difficult to generate this graph with all the connectivity stuff and then repopulate it back. Because there's like an actual geometric, you know, interpretation of this. And here there is physicality. Here there is no physicality. And that causes issues because it can be very difficult to assert that there is no it's very difficult to assert that there are no crossings, that there are no crossing edges, right? So how do we assert that? Right? How do we assert that there's not going to be any crossing? One way of doing it is that we have our, we have our start, and we have our start, we have our end, right? We have and we start building nodes in a very particular way, right? One of the things that we could do is we could start building our nodes in a very specific way. So we start off with this kind of relation, right? Which is fine, right? This is cool. This is fine. This works well. The issue is that it can be very difficult to... So what we could do is we could break this and we can say, hey, you know, we have the starter node, we map that, right? And then we have break this, we have another node, and we do that, right? And what we can do is we can say build all of these until the very end. We map all of these together. Do that. Alright. Now, here's the thing though. This path is very bad because these are all bidirectional, right? These are all bidirectional. So this is super easy. This just means that the start and the end are of path, what, 1, 2, alright. So first what we can do is we can break this boundary. And then count, you know, somewhere like that. So that's good. And then we can say do a boundary like that. Oh, I'm just trying to formulate a good procedurally generated level designer. Right. So now this means that this is of length 2. We don't like that, so let's do a different one. So let's add 2. Alright. You do that. And then from here, like, this might be fine. Oh, we only have one corridor. I mean, this is also kind of like really bad. Yeah, I mean, having a whiteboard is nice. It's just very difficult to show a whiteboard on stream, and I don't have one, so I just use this. Yeah, technically speaking, there's a bunch of other rules and stuff that don't really work too well. You can also do a cycle here, right? You can bring out another one here, and do a cycle here. You could even break out and do a cycle there, you know. So what this will do, what this structure will do for us, is that for one, we could erase that and do, you know, something like that. And just yeah. Boxing out state machines. I just love explaining to people, like, a state machine is not a very difficult thing. It's just a Markov chain, right? It's just a conditional Markov chain. You know, so, like, state machines are not hard. So we have this system here. So how do we put this into a grid with fixed locations and stuff? We have the assertion that this is, you know, that, and this is, you know, these situations here. How do we, you know, assert, you know, how do we assert things, right? How do we assert that there's, you know, edges and all this stuff into stuff? True. I mean, depending on like your language features, your data set, you know, state machines can be super easy, barely an inconvenience, or they could be a colossal pain in the ass, right? And I mean that also goes for a lot of just computer science in general, you know, because you know they're just state machines. I mean, state machines are just Markov chains, right? Yeah. So here we have what? We have a thing here. We have a thing here. Here. We have, wait, 1, 2, 3. Let's build this out a little bit more. We have 1, 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 connected there. So that one's done. This one is connected directly, right? So we have that. We have this one connected here. We have this one connected here. Let's do, instead of arrows, let's do edges. Let's do actual edges. All right. So we have that. We have that one and that one. This one is connected like that. This one has 2 others. All right. Those 2 are connected. One of them, and there is a bridge, and this, and it is what? This one goes to this diamond, and this one goes to this diamond, right? So we have this kind of sequence. So we have something that, I mean, it is pretty kind of like, this whole thing is really kind of awkward a little bit. But oh wait, no, it doesn't go there. This actually goes here. Yeah, it's like that. All right. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I would prefer if there were like more edges and stuff. Like, one of the things that you could do is say, give, you know, you link to the beginning and the end, then you link a pair of cyclically handled stuff in there, and they can like branch out that way. That might be a little bit easier to do, where you give more and more cycles in between. But I don't know how that would look. Right. And also, like, what's the point of it? You know? Like, why do that? Why do? What's the purpose? Why have these offshoots other than just to... Well, I mean, you don't want... You don't want each level to be, like, purely... You don't want each level to be like such harsh, pure what do you fucking call it? Come on, Ketu, come on. Literally can't fucking think. Literally can't fucking think. That's great. Yeah. You don't want the levels to be too straightforward. Otherwise, there's not, there's no reason to, do anything. So I don't want, I don't want them, I don't want it to be too easy. But I also have, that which is laggy as hell. I'm not too thrilled about that. And save the bandwidth, save the bitrate. I just had an idea for something. You know what? My brain is telling me to go do it, so I'm gonna go do it. I will be right back. Now, tomorrow I get to see if that works. Ow! Fucking hell, dude. Ow, my back. I have a feeling that what I want to do is not going to work. Oh. Yeah, I'm good. I just have back pain. Yeah, I'm old. I'm just gonna stand up. Yeah. There you go. Now I get to completely overheat my computer. I'm 30. That's my excuse. I exist. I woke up this morning. That's my problem. Come on. There we go. That should be stable. Stack of pillows. And spine growth rings. Oh, I feel that. All right, so let's see what we have here. Some more. Right. So we have all this going on. Yeah, so I guess onboarding, I have onboarding technically handled. The next step would be managing the random, right, the procedural generation, right? That is what I'm working on. Which isn't as easy of a problem as many might assume. There are a bunch of different ways of handling it. Because I could do like a very large, I could do a very large map and then handle it that way. Because like, let's take a look at the actual, take a look at Krita, and take a look at the actual, you know, thing, right? Legal years. Yeah, I'm 35 this month. Hey, it's my birth month. Woo! Hello, I'm old. God damn it. Hello. There we go. So let's take a look at the map that I have and see if there's some insight that we can gain from it. Yeah, they are supposed to be the good years. Oh fuck. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I'm breaking everything. You saw my cringe ass fucking shit. Yeah. So let's take a look at this and see if we can gain any insight. So there's two different kinds of ways of dealing with things, right? Because yes. Yeah. So the white are wolves. White are wolves. Wolves are right. White. Now I mean, because I want to have procedurally generated, right? That is the desire, is to have a procedurally generated map. Simply because that would just be very nice to have, right? So yeah, like this is the full map of the game. This game only has one texture. Soon it's gonna have 0 textures. It's just gonna have one shader. And that shader I can clean up. Like, I do want to clean it up at some point, because there's a lot of I feel like there's probably going to be a lot of unnecessarily rendered bullshit. So I'll just have to figure it out. Now, one of the things that I want to kind of figure out, though, is, for one, looking at this map, because this map is pretty, like, it's pretty nice comparatively, right? Like, it's pretty damn close to what it is that I want to do. So one of the things that I could do is I could say generate a big ass thing, right? Because I can generate if I generate regions, by picking some set of random coordinates within the grid, right? And then I grow those out. I pick a bunch of seed locations and let them expand kind of randomly. Basically picking some random set of, just picking a point at random, and then just going from there. Like there's a few different ways of doing it very cleverly, in a way that's very clever. Like, hello! Yes! Hello, Otter! Hello, Ott. How is the Otter today? Also, here's some new stuff. I have an onboarding thing up in the left-hand corner of the thing. I can also make it full screen, which runs like dog shit. I am very curious to see how it runs on your computer. So I'm going to have a releasable build available by end of day today. By EOD today, I'm going to have a build. I'm going to have that. Oh, and also this. I can turn off the static. It still runs like dog shit. But, so I am curious to see if it runs well on your... Yes. Yeah, so I have that. So now we can take a look at the game without having to worry about your bitrate tanking into the ground, and then some. Dropping up in Australia. It goes well. I'm really pleased with this floor texture. I'm both really pleased with it and absolutely despise it at the same time. Fun times. Yeah, yeah. The ceiling is this wood. This wood plank texture came out really good. Oh, it's so good. Everything is completely randomly generated. Um, you can build on BSD. Yeah, I mean you can build on BSD. Um, yeah. Hmm. You're working along with me? Yeah. Yeah. Um. But yeah. So everything is procedurally generated. So there's a lot of like all of these are variadic. So yeah, yeah. Save the bit rate. Everything is variadic. So no two bricks are quite the same length. No two planks are quite the same length. The this stony concrete texture is completely procedurally generated. I have all that, so now I am. Oh yeah. Also, I made it so that you can release the mouse. I'm gonna keep the mouse look. Yeah, yeah. That's kind of the point. I realize that with like brick walls, there's very few places that actually use brick walls, right? So I was, yeah. The roof texture came out really good. So there's very few places that use brick walls, and they're mostly industrial locations or in the basement. Basements very frequently use brick because you can sink brick into the ground and you don't have to worry about it too much, right? It doesn't rot away or anything like that like wood. It's very robust and resilient. So having bricks in a basement make a lot of sense, especially if you have a very strict ceiling height. If you have like a static ceiling height, the only thing that really makes a lot of sense is if it's in a basement. So that's why instead of the floor being wood, I made the ceiling wood, right? And the floor needed to be like concrete, cement, stone, something along those lines. So that's why I did it that way. I didn't want to do tiles. I didn't want to do, things like that because I'd already done that. It didn't make a lot of sense to me to have a tiled floor in the basement. This just kind of felt a lot better. Having it be dingy, dark, gloomy, spoopy made more sense for it to be to kind of give the idea that it's, taking place in a basement. Just seemed to be more thematically appropriate than, say, some other kind of setting. Rather than just some generic, wall, yada yada yada. I wanted there to be some kind of reasonable assessment, reasonable familiarity within the game as a whole, right? Otherwise, there's not, otherwise it doesn't really fit very well. It wouldn't feel very coherent. So, like I do have a lot of other ideas that I want to do because like having this kind of vibe here and then lifting, like because you can lift the roof very easily, right? You can lift the roof very easily by setting. Yeah, there's the ceiling height. Where's the do static image map area? Get cell 2. Where is the shit? Dog? Nande. Um, yes. Actually, the where the floor meets the wall, there is edge detection there. I'll actually show you. Right. So, where the floor meets the wall, that line, that's on the floor itself. That boundary is on the floor itself. Same thing with up here, right? So I can map that to a UV. I can map that to a UV coordinate. And then use those new UVs, like a secondary UV coordinate, and use those as, like make it look like crown molding or something, right? I could do like crown molding around the top. I could do a baseboard around the bottom, right? Because then I could feed that into, other systems that allow for, the UV textures and things like that. Because I can detect if it's a corner, so I can make the corners look different. I can make the edges look different. I can make, each individual portion of it look different. Sitting down and kind of, because like having a cap along these edges might be nice. Yeah. So like right now it's just it's just a feathering. Signed by initiation ritual, or you can just kind of pick what you like. I don't know, like it's I don't know. It's just when you find one that works for you, it just kind of sticks. I don't know. I mean, at least that's what it was for me. I liked fox. I've always liked foxes, and I don't know. It just kind of stuck. So so kind of like, I don't know, all of the above, somewhat. I guess, I don't know. Whatever feels right. But yeah, so I can have right now the procedural edge textures are just an outline currently. But I can make it whatever I want. I just didn't feel like having anything too crazy yet. Simply because I didn't want to detract and distract. And also, this is what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like this. So there's that. I mean, you're not wrong. Cats are also pretty popular too. Although I became a furry, I became a furry back in the 2010s. Yeah, it is a bit a bit like Animorphs. I became a furry when like I really like I became a full-fledged furry in at the turn of 2010, the late 2000s, back when everyone's persona was a dark, edgy, black, fox or wolf, usually wolf, with, red highlights, a trench coat, and fucking twin katanas, okay? And my persona is a black fox. So, like, I'm not helping stereotype, like, at all. But, yeah. Yeah, geez, like, it was a while ago. I'd actually said that like there's this French there's a French advertisement that's like a furry advert, and it's like really well done, and I said that like it's you know, its animation is better than anything that Disney had produced in the last 10 years. And someone was like, "Oh, but Zootopia was but Zootopia was good." And my response was, "Yeah, Zootopia was made over 10 years ago." Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out what kind of ooh, zombie otter. Interesting. That's cool. That's not very common. I mean, otters aren't very common either. Oh, fuck. Let's see. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to handle the yeah, yeah, the French commercial about like food and like grocery and groceries. The wolf that just wants to eat with the other woodland animals and stuff, and they're all afraid of him and shit. Yeah, it's so well done. It's so adorable. It's so cute. I love the little tail wag at the end. It's cute. It's so cute. Of otters, are there twink for bruh, brother, my brother in Christ. Um, foxes are twinks. All foxes are twinks. Okay, every fox is a twink. Fight me and prove me wrong. There's not a single fucking fox out there that's not a twink. They don't exist. Every fox is a twink, myself included. There is no such thing as a fox that is not a twink. uh, by the thousands, yeah. That's just that's only foxes. That's just talking about foxes. That's not including cats or rabbits or half of the population. It is more impressive to find a furry that isn't a twink than it is to find one that is. Yep, assigned persona and programmer socks at birth. I have the socks. I even have the socks with paws on them. So I'm not beating the allegations at all. I'm fully encompassing them. I'm not helping the stereotypes. Like I have the full uniform. Okay. I do have the uniform. I even have Arch installed. Okay. There's an Arch petition on this machine. But yeah. Let's see. So, how do I want to handle the procedural level generation? Because there's two different ways of handling the... There's like two different ways of handling the, So, I could do... I do. I even have the arm warmers for fuck's sake. Okay. I full scented. Okay. I got all of it. I don't have the hoodie anymore though. That's the problem. I need to get a new black hoodie. But I need, so I can do the let's see here. Because I can go... So I can have each of the... I can have each of the rooms have a seed that it grows from. Right? So I place a seed somewhere, I let it grow, I place a seed someplace else and let it grow. Well, I'm glad I could be entertained. I've been online for quite some time. You either learn to have a sense of humor, or you get your teeth knocked out of your skull. I mean, either way, you bring entertainment to someone at some point. Just one's a lot less painful. And then I could say... So I think the hallways would do better if they're not super winding. I feel like they should just be spacers around rooms, which simplifies things. Good. Glad I could be entertaining. So the big thing is that I don't want... Well, for one, I could do this and oi. Yeah, I could do that. I can also do this, just to kind of break things up a little bit. Right. So I can have each of the rooms grow until they encounter an obstacle, either another room or the outside wall. And they can either be merged into that obstacle, right? Or be because like here I could do something along these lines, right? Oh, interesting. So yeah. See, this is a huge room. I don't know if I like that. In order to break it up, I could do something along these lines, right? But except that's gonna break my rule of always having loops, and then in which case I can break that up like that, right? Everything kind of loops around. Okay. Makes things quite nice. And that's the internet. I mean, you can. Yo, the furry community would absolutely agree with you, and there's not a single fox on the face of the fucking planet that would argue with that, as much as they want to. Okay, I could do that, and then that, right? That's something. Do 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 do. Yeah. So I mean, I guess this is something that would, right? Export. I mean, not all of them. Not all of us, sir. Let's see. Yes, want to replace. Not every fox is a rat. Many are, but not all. Oh. So let's see here. Save the bit rate. Yeah, it goes like that. It goes all the way up there. This is like a huge room. You definitely say that. Especially Dervish. Dervish is fucking hilarious. He's great. What else was the other place that... Ace is the place, the helpful hardware, folks. Where is the other location? Where is it? Where do it be? Yeah. Okay, yeah, see, I'm really digging this. I'm really digging it. Okay, cool. Cool. I have, yeah, I'm liking the idea of, so I need to have a seed, it needs to grow, it needs to stop growing when it hits another wall or room, and then from there, I could so the biggest issue that I have is so I want to guarantee that there's no dead ends, right? I don't want dead ends except for the beginning and the end, and that is the part that's going to be the most difficult to overcome. Simply because there's a lot of things that might be required, like out of necessity. Yeah, because I want every room to have two points, an entrance and an exit. I want every room to have two openings. I want every... Well, I mean, like, one of the things that I could do is for... That's going to complicate things. Because if every room is guaranteed to be connected to another room, right? If every room is guaranteed to be connected to another room, then you have a bit of a problem in that you have because if every room, I mean, if every room is guaranteed to be connected to another room immediately, then you only need to make every room pick a random location, create an opening, and then bit bang boom, Bob's your uncle, right? And then like that's fine, right? Because if you do that, then no matter what, you guarantee that every single room has, two things. You can just connect to an adjacent room that has yet to be connected. Except that doesn't quite work. You can't guarantee a cycle. So what would be the next step? So how do I make sure, like, how do I guarantee connectivity? All right. And not only that, but how do I make sure, because there's kind of two different possibilities, right? There is, because we want to also avoid islands, which means that the entire system needs to be validated. And that causes some issues. Because validation is very difficult to achieve. Oh, wait. I don't need to validate. I don't need to validate anything. Because the only time that you can have islands is if you have... the only way you can have isolation is if you have any singular internal... If any singular internal row or column is completely filled in, then you have a separation of the two regions. Right? There is no way... Oh, wait, that's false. That's not entirely true. That is insufficient. Interesting. Because you can have like a winding path. Right? You can have a winding path that separates the two regions entirely. So that neither the row nor column is fully filled in, but you still separate two regions. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's fair. So while you have... Yeah, so... that will be insufficient. Meaning... How do you find out there's connectivity? Whenever you whenever you turn something from floor to wall, whenever you change its state from a floor tile to a wall tile, you well, I mean, one way of doing it is that you fill everything in with walls. Then you place a bunch of different rooms, and the whole goal is to make everything one room. Right? Because that means everything is fully connected. So how do you do that? You, whichever one is lower in the, yeah. So when you delete a wall, you look at that wall's neighbors, and if any of those are part of a room, right? If any of those are part of a room, you merge the two rooms together, right? And you take whichever one is the lowest. Right, whichever room. I'm just using love 2D. So there's that. Like literally only love 2D. I'm not using any libraries. I like the idea of coming up with these solutions myself. Because even if it's not as good, it's something that I came up with, you know? And I think that's just kind of... Because otherwise, what's the point of the computer science, right? Like a big part of computer science is figuring it the hell out, you know? Yeah, I mean, ProcGen is a lot of fun. There's ways of doing it well, and there's ways of doing it horrifically poorly, right? Because there's a lot of developers out there that kind of say, oh, I can do whatever the hell I want because I can just make everything procedurally generated and I don't have to do any real work. And that's not entirely the case. Because hands down, a handcrafted level, handcrafted assets will always be better than procedurally generated than project, right? Yeah. I mean, some people enjoy UI design and stuff, but yeah, it is a lot like saying I want to do low res pixel art because it's easier, or I want to do any number of other things. Like it's just a different ecosystem, right? If you don't exercise your design patterns within the ecosystem that you are creating, then it becomes very difficult to build a very cohesive. It becomes very difficult, if not impossible, to build a cohesive game. And continuity is far more important in game design than literally anything else. If everything that you put into the game is coherent and cohesive, you can get away with whatever the fuck you want, right? Like I've seen games be intentionally given, PS1 graphics even in the modern era. I've seen games intentionally do, all kinds of things. Like that's why Minecraft works so well. Because could you imagine Minecraft with full high poly models for all the mobs, including the player model? Like that would not work. It would have immediately flopped, right? Because it breaks the continuity. That's why Lucid Blocks is so interesting, because it's so surreal and just chaotic, and having a little bit of About my Unity asset flips, I worked barely at all on them. Yeah, exactly. You know, like Lucid Blocks is an excellent example of getting away with breaking the normal rules of game design. You know, they are kind of merging. They are intentionally kind of clashing things, but everything is rendered in a very similar, um, low bit rate, highly dithered, and it's like there's this very surreal look and feel to it, and that works very well within the context of the game itself. I personally love C sharp. C sharp is a great language that I think a lot of people sleep on. Um, it's perfectly capable of doing a lot of things, and since it's been opened and is being put in the development and maintenance of C Sharp is being largely handed off to the community that uses it. The tool chain and the build chain is already starting to become way better than when Microsoft had their hands in it. So I'm super happy that Microsoft isn't the only one working on C Sharp. I think that it's definitely a language that is largely slept on. Um, it makes it very easy to have like a nice solid build chain and other things like that. Granted, I'm still going to be doing my own language because I want to, but I am going to be using C Sharp to write the compiler and stuff like that. So I'm a pedantic bitch for C though. So. Yeah, I mean, fair, very fair. It's just that there's there's just a lot that goes into these kinds of things, you know. There's just a lot of considerations when dealing with game design and development, and not just game design, just like software engineering in general. There's a lot of considerations to keep in mind. There's a lot of things that could go wrong. There's a lot of good practices, bad practices. There's a lot of different reasons why they're good and a lot of different reasons why they're bad. A lot of ways to break the rules. Just as long as but you have to know the rules and have good foundation and have good fundamentals before you can start playing with the rules. Before you can start breaking the rules. And that's kind of like where, to make a really good game, you start by making a game with solid fundamentals and solid rules. Like I know, I know that I can, because I have, because I know that this is all in grayscale, those are part of the rules that I'm, Yeah, I mean, I also love C++. So, wait, what? Nande? Oh, okay. I personally love C++ as well. It's great. I love Lua. Lua is better than Python. Fuck Python. Python can go jump off a cliff. Let spaces be spaces. Just saying. Being able to mix spaces and tabs is dog shit. Fine as long as it isn't Rust. Fair. I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with anything but Rust. Because I was doing stuff in D-Lang and I kind of toyed around with Rust and I was like, oh, I hate this. I do not like any part of this. Yeah. So there's a lot of that. I am getting very fucking hungry. I need to figure out something to feed myself with. Yeah, because if I don't eat something soon, then I'm gonna be in a very bad spot. So I am going to take a little bit, take a couple minutes to get myself some food, some noms, and I will be back. Should probably mute myself. Try called Gravity. It's a lang you embedded into a C project similar time to Swift apparently. Interesting. That is really interesting. Yeah, I was also looking into like Lisp and stuff. Anyway, if I keep blabbing, talking is not feeding me, so I'll be right back.
Dystopian nightmares. Human era. Infinity. On a distant planet. Our galaxy. Android. Evolution.
The author is well, he does stream a project, um, so I would say follow the author as well. I actually just realized that since I'm hungry and in pain and hurting, and I've been at this for like 3 hours, I'm actually going to end stream. But yeah, I'd recommend giving Otter a follow. Doing a very cozy little, very cozy game. Cozy cute game about his pupper, about his doggo. He's actually doing more. Yeah, of course. He's actually doing some progress. Rather than just fumbling around, scratching his head like I do every goddamn stream. Knowing knowing my history, I'm just gonna abandon this and go on to something else later on, but hopefully not. I do have someone that I want to raid into. And yeah, I'm gonna say go into DM. Yeah. I mean, take 4 days to name a project and 4 hours to finish it. Oh, I feel you there. So let's go say hi. Show some love. I want to get on over there. So yeah, thank you guys so much for showing up and all that stuff. See if I can't get in on the Hello, why can't I? Okay, there we go.